involved. But the genius of capitalism, and only capitalism, is that it channels self-interest into altruism. Entrepreneurs can only help themselves by helping others. All those who have started a business and made great sacrifices to do so know the drama of that first day. Does the world want what I have to give? Whether it's an immigrant opening a beauty salon or Steve Jobs selling an Apple computer, success is far from guaranteed. In fact, it's just the opposite. Those courageous souls, the entrepreneurs who are the beating heart of capitalism, who bring us the endless material benefits we enjoy, from ATM machines to life-saving medicines, should be held up for admiration, not torn down. Altruism is the very reason for capitalism's existence and why it remains the hope of civilization.
For many years, right into the 1970s, MIT was almost 100% funded by the Pentagon. It was also the main academic center of resistance against the Vietnam War. My lab, in fact, was one of the main academic centers. I was up for a long jail sentence. The Pentagon didn't give a damn. If you want to overthrow the country, that's your business. They don't care, you know. But what they did give a damn about is creating the next phase of the high-tech economy. The Pentagon was and remains, to a large extent, a kind of a funnel, but into which taxpayers pour funds, diluted into thinking, you know, we're defending ourselves from whoever it may be, and the money goes into developing the next phase of the high-tech economy. So if you use a computer or you use the internet, you know, you fly an airplane, which is a modified bomber, and so on, you're taking advantage of the role of the dynamic state sector of the economy. I mean, a lot of what's called entrepreneurial initiative and so on is coming straight out of the state sector. Actually, I once wrote an article a couple of years ago after Alan Greenspan had given one of his orations about the marvels of the free economy, entrepreneurial initiative, consumer choice. He made the mistake of actually listing about a dozen examples. Every single one of them, with one exception, was a textbook case where the work was almost entirely done in the state sector. No consumer choice, no entrepreneurial initiative, just a lot of it paid for by the Pentagon. Actually, there was one exception, which was even more enlightening. It was transistors. He pointed out correctly that transistors were developed in the private sector, AT&T, but he didn't explain why. It was because AT&T had a government-guaranteed monopoly, so therefore they could charge monopoly prices, and they could use that benefit to establish a very good lab, Bell Labs. We used to go up and back there all the time in the 50s and 60s. So a great lab, did a lot of things, you know, feeding at the public trough like everything else is. They were using wartime technology, which came out of the government, of course. They couldn't sell advanced computers because they were too expensive, so the government bought them. 100% of the advanced transistors put out by Western Electric around 1960 were picked up by the government. And in fact, if you look, procurement is one of the major means for subsidizing private industry. It was done with computers, it's done with all kinds of things. Until they can get to the point where they can sell things on the market, somebody's got to buy it. Okay, that's the government, usually the Pentagon. So that's one major aspect of the Pentagon, and it continues right to the present.